back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, or Mike if you prefer, and I got a review for you today. But before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe on this guy's channel. Hit the bell, you never know when I'll be dropping reviews, and I do have more reviews on the way. But let's get into it, right? We're going to be talking about Universal Studios' Frankenstein, brought to you by Skybound Entertainment and Image Comics. It is written cover, the cover art and art by Michael Walsh, and then we got colors by Toni Griffin and letters by Becca, Carey. And like I mentioned, Michael Walsh did the cover art as well, the main cover. So this is basically if you've seen the Universal Studios movie Frankenstein, this is that telling with a little, added story in there. But the book starts out, we're in a graveyard with this boy. I don't think we get a name on the boy yet, but he's grieving his father. He's at the graveside. His father's just recently passed away. He's got a toy that has recently broken, and he's trying to get his father to fix that toy. And as he's there, like, grieving for his father, that's where we hear some grave robbers coming through. It happens to be Dr. Frankenstein and his assistant Fritz. Basically, they're kind of talking about looking for new parts and stuff, and we get this dope ass spread right here. It's so fantastic. But basically, they're looking for fresh parts for the Frankenstein monster. They happen upon, the little boy's father, and they basically head back to the castle. We see that the boy has snuck into their carriage with the body part. I mean, he's basically laying with the bodies in there. But we do make it back to Castle Frankenstein, and the boy basically makes it inside the castle, and he starts looking for his dad. We see this page right here where he's found, like, one of, if not the lab, maybe a whole bunch of Dr. Frankenstein's labs. But he happens to be in the lab where the Frankenstein monster is about to be, risen, he's about to arise, kind of thing. And I'm kind of speeding through this. There's not a lot of story, it's more like story with the art kind of thing. But we see here he does find his dad, or at least his dad's hand. He recognizes his dad's hand, kind of thing. And then that's when Dr. Frankenstein and Fritz come back in. They finally finish what they were doing or whatever. They come back in. He has to run and scurry off, kind of thing. There's mention of this Elizabeth character, as we see on this page right here. They're maybe donors, or the people that are funding Dr. Frankenstein's experiment. I'm pretty sure that they don't know exactly what his experiment is, but it seems like this is where the funding is coming from. But we just get a brief mention of who these people, not even who these people are, just their name and they're there, kind of thing. But basically, they're there to attend the experiment, and as you can see on this page, it starts. The boy gets to witness all this. Of course, it's a success. We get this page right here with all the electricity pulsing through Frankenstein's body. And then we get the iconic scene. It's alive! I to this day love that scene. But the boy is still there hidden. He sees all this, sees that the decaying body gets reanimated, kind of thing. Dr. Frankenstein and Fritz, they eventually, they kind of start talking about something else, and they head off towards the castle with that Elizabeth character and her guards, or her valet, or whoever that other person was, because they don't mention who that person was. But basically, we get the boy, and he's sneaking back, trying to find where they put the Frankenstein monster, because they didn't leave him there. They actually take him up to some tower or something. But basically, the boy makes it up there, and he still assumes this is his father because he found the father's hand, kind of thing. He thinks they reanimated his father. He does make it up to this top of this tower, and he ends up seeing the Frankenstein monster in shadow form at first, and then on the next page he sees him in his whole form, and he realizes, hey, this ain't my dad, but he does recognize that that's his dad's hand, kind of thing. We get this whole scene where Frankenstein reaches out for him, kind of thing. There is a moment where you can see that he tightens his grip too much. We're still not in that, Frankenstein's not understanding, kind of thing. But he's not doing it in a mean way. He's just, he's trying to grab the boy, and it's just with force, The boy kind of freaks out, backs off, but kind of realizes this and stuff. Um, Eventually he kind of does get scared and he leaves, and he realizes, like, man, I need to get back, you know, I can't stay here, but I do plan to come back to see you. You know, he wants to go back to see the Frankenstein monster. He ends up leaving off. We have this like like he has this contemplation where he thinks, like, the boy, he's come to the decision that the scientist is a monster kind of thing, and he's off to kill, you know, this monster that possibility had something to do with the death of his dad, or the desecration of his dad's body. So he grabs a knife and he tries to, like, assassinate him, like Dr. Frankenstein's at the back of this table. And we pretty much get this last page right here with Fritz sneaking up on the boy, capturing the boy, grabbing the knife, and basically telling him, nope, this ain't gonna happen, it's time to teach you some of the house rules. And they just fade off into the darkness, and that's it. There is technically a couple more pages left. We get this page right here about how Michael Walsh really wanted to do this comic, but due to complications they really couldn't in the past. But due to other people stepping out, and, you know, he was able to step in kind of thing, which is fantastic. And we get a couple more pages of basically like behind the scenes panels and art, like sketch art kind of thing, which I love. They're all showcased here. We actually get like one page from the book, and the other is just the Frankenstein monster. I don't know if these are going to be in the book, but they're, you know, fantastic. I love this art. We, at the very last page, we do get a cover image to the next issue. It says dropping September 25th, so be on the lookout for that if you enjoyed this. And the very last pages, we do get like a spread of what all the other covers, you know, the regular retail covers for this issue, for issue number 1. Alright, so let's talk about the book. I love this. I thought it was great. I'm a huge fan of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I love the Universal Studios, you know, movie. It's one of my, like, favorite monster movies kind of thing. This was excellent. It feels like if this was written by the original author and they wanted to add some information to this story, this is how you do it. And this is not the original author. This is, you know, like 80 years separate, or 100 years. I don't know how long it's been. Don't quote me. But this is fantastic. It just fits right in there. Like, I could see this being in like some special edition of the movie. Like, we just missed this boy. Like, he was there the whole time. This was part. I love this. Not only that, the story is fantastic, which I love. Which in this issue there was very little, but kind of a lot, kind of thing. But the art is the best part. So often horror comics use this like abstract where you can't really tell what's going on. The story kind of carries the horror. It's no snide to horror books, but they use that a lot. And it's so refreshing to get a book that uses just standard art in their book to do a horror, you know, it's really nice. But this was a fantastic read. If you are a Universal Studios fan, a Frankenstein fan, just a good story fan, some crazy good art, because there's some phenomenal art in this book. This is the book. You know, the other Universal Studios, I want to say Dracula was a fantastic story. It's basically Bram Stoker's Dracula, you know, in comic form. But then it's you know, the art kind of took away the essence of the story kind of thing. Creature from the Black Lagoon, for me, it was just a mess on both parts. It wasn't that great of a story, and the art just wasn't that great. This is a hit on both. The story was great, and the art is great. This is fantastic, so I highly suggest, you know, checking this book out if you have not. And I think they've already established that they're going to do a second printing of this book, so if it's not at your shop, there will be another chance to get it. But guys, that's my review. If you read this book, let me know down below. This was a hot review because I know Trev's you know, girl Tina, she's big on Frankenstein, so I wanted to get this out there in the public, so, you know, she would actually have something interesting that she is into to talk about with me. But guys, if you have read this, let me know down below what you thought about it. You know, especially if there's negative comments, I'd like to hear that. I love this, but I could see how, you know, desecrating the original, you know, might be a big issue for some people. So, and I'd like to hear that kind of stuff too, because you know, for me, I didn't see any of that. But guys, that's all I got for you. I'll let y'all go. Thank you for watching. Bah!